G'day, welcome back. I'm Dave. Thanks for joining me yet again. So just to continue on from my previous video about the AI solution that we've got for small businesses, and we talked about a case study that we set up, Sutherland Sally, which is sutherlandshire.online. Now, what the potential that this solution can come up with for your business, let's imagine we want to own the conversation for a particular area. So you want to own the conversation in your domain of speciality. So basically we did a study of the British carpet company. So the British carpet company took their website, turned it into an AI website, then expanded into the Carpet Sydney, which was a site that is basically set up to answer questions all about floor coverings and carpets in Sydney. And then the next one, they sponsored Sutherland Sally. Now, Sutherland Sally is a directory site for the Sutherland Shire in Australia, near Sydney. So the way that the AI could do this, imagine you wanted to start a directory site about your location, whatever that happens to be. It takes a lot of research. AI can help with the research. Then the answers, the monitoring, the sanitizing of the responses, the moderation, there's a huge amount of work. And it's virtually a money pit to try and set this business up. But buying AI intelligence now enables us to do that. So we can apply that to our own businesses as well. So I'll try and use this as a little bit of a case study. This is on the output side of how you promote your business. I'll also then explain about the input side of how the same solution can work for onboarding staff, helping staff in particular situations, keeping the vibe on your company of what's happening. But let's say we use Sally as an example, right? So as a case study, you have got your AI assistant already set up and trained on your knowledge base. Your knowledge base is the core answer of the questions that the AI assistant will look for when a user asks a question about the product, the service, whatever. Now, the great thing is you can actually, and I mentioned it earlier, let's say we take pricing. Now, pricing can get very finicky. It can get very tricky. Not everyone has a straightforward price. You know, this widget costs X. Most people go, okay, I'm looking for X. But if you're trying to sell a product and there's pricing differences, pricing scales, it needs explaining, that's where your AI system comes in, because you will get that answer from people and you don't need to do that. And they're not going to just ignore your site because there's no pricing, or just click on it straight away, go, no, that's too dear. The site down the road has labeled that in a different way. You know, whatever was $2,000 down the road has been labeled as $200 by 10 or whatever the case may be. So pricing becomes confusing. If the AI assistant is trained to answer the way you would answer, then the person has the option of going, oh, okay, well, that sort of makes sense. So it's a very, very good way to actually implement your information. So let's say we take Sutherland Sally as an example, like I said. So you're new to Sutherland. Imagine this is a hotel or a golf course or, you know, a cafe or any event you want to run, a sporting event. The first starting point is people are now used to QR codes, right, and scanning QR codes. So what you could do is you could have a QR code set up, just like this one. Someone walks in with their phone, they scan the QR code, and then it opens up to Sutherland Sally. So there's Sutherland Sally. Now, most people will be using the AI assistant on a website. They're not going to be using it basically, on the phone, not on a website. So that's the phone presentation. Now, what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to go, hey, Sally, what's the best cafe in Cronulla Mall? So I've asked Sally the question. Sally will then search her knowledge base and find what the best cafe in Cronulla Mall is. She will come back with an answer. So the end user has now got the answer with all the information. Now, that information would include the link to the cafe or any other information that's there. Now, the information comes initially from the knowledge base, and then from the training that the LLM has had, and then from the internet, because it's got access to web search as well. So you can ask questions about live events. So it's given us the full answer there. And what it also does, if we have a look here, we can see where it's got Sally asked, Sally answered. So ask Sally, and I encourage you to ask questions because you'll see what's happening. It outputs to that page. So not only is it giving the answer to the end user, it's created the conversation and put it out to a page to tell everybody else. So if someone's doing a Google search and they go, oh, what is the best cafe in Cronulla? That page will be on the Ethernet somewhere being searched. So it really is a very powerful system. And if I just use that as an example. Now, in the previous video, I talked about how this is the output. This is you putting your company out there using my technology, using my solution in conversation. Let's flip it on its head. Let's go back to what would actually happen within your business, okay? So let's say you've got, I don't know, 20 or 30 staff, and you want your staff to have access to information so they don't need to tap someone on the shoulder and ask them a question. You might be in a business where you run a busy cafe or a restaurant. It may be a business where you manufacture. It really doesn't matter. Some case studies I've done are particularly multilingual. So if you're running a business where you've got people that speak different languages and English is not their first language, this is a great solution. You basically create an AI assistant for your business, trained on all your knowledge, all your standard operating procedures, all your pricing, all your procedures that you basically do every day to do this. And then with every new staff member, they scan the QR code, they've got it in their pocket. If it's a customer service business, for example, and they want to find more information on the product, they can straight away just go to that to help the customer that they're serving. So as it builds up, the questions that they ask of the AI assistant for your business can come out with the same answers. But instead of the answers being published to the internet, what we do is we just publish the answers behind the scenes. So you as the owner of the business can at any stage go in and see what the conversation is. Now, this is great for being able to spot where issues lie. It will generate a report straight away. So you can pick a date period. Okay, what happened between Monday this week and today? Or what happened for the last month? What are the staff talking about? What are the questions they're asking? Oh, I can see a trend here. Everyone's asking about where the red screwdriver is or whatever the case may be. So you can see straight away what is going on in your business. It is giving you the vibe, but it's a great onboarding tool for new staff. It's a fantastic tool for your existing staff that may be unsure of. And imagine you've got a new staff member who may have learning difficulties and you want to give them a real go or give them a crack. This is a great tool to make them feel comfortable as well, because they don't need to feel like they have to tap someone on the shoulder, in which case a lot of the times they won't. So if you've got everything in an assistant, they can just ask a question and get the answer back, then that's going to also be very, very productive for your business and helps your staff. So let's just break it down. This scary AI is just intelligence. You are just buying intelligence, right? You would have to pay a 24-hour staff member, multilingual, to answer these questions. You don't need to do that anymore. So every business, even a small business, can be greatly improved from productivity from behind the scenes using the same solution that I've created for marketing from the front end or just customer service, right? So basically use the AI intelligence. Just think of it as buying intelligence. No different to buying or hiring staff. The main difference is you don't have to feed them. You don't have to pay their superannuation. You don't have to put up when they're sick. And that's all fine. We're not trying to displace humans in the loop. We're just saying, hey, this job could be done better. You know, why don't we do it this way? So basically, you can implement AI at that level. So just think of AI as intelligence at different levels. So my solution, instead of going back to Sutherland Sally, where we create a new event, so when we create an event, it goes straight back into the knowledge base. In this case, because we're trying to keep everything behind the scenes, what we do is that third AI assistant is the one that generates the reports over that period. And you can train the AI assistant to say, hey, I'm a busy guy or a busy girl. What I actually need is I want to just listen to the report in the car. So they can just download the report in text, chuck it into an AI app like 11 Labs, listen to it while they're stuck in the traffic. Or they can have it in point form or bullet form or whatever way they want. They can use this for meetings. It's gathering all this vibe, this information about your company, and your employees will be happy to use it because they don't need to tap someone on the shoulder. So the applications are absolutely huge, whichever way you go. But start thinking of AI as just buying intelligence. That basically is what it does. And going back to the business model, the reason that people will start to interact with machines is simple. It's the business model of OpenAI and most of the other LLM models. It's called cognitive offload. Humans, we are innately trained not to take the hard way, right? Sometimes we will take the hard way. We live in hope. That's the difference between humans, I guess, and animals. We live in hope. We will sacrifice all things for what may happen in the future. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But what we do, and it's hardwired into our brain, is if we can take an easy way and we just get the question answered to what we want, it saves our cognitive brain process in case back in the day a dinosaur jumped out and wanted to rip your head off. You needed the brain to be clear, right? So people will take shortcuts. Do you think someone's going to go to your website, go click, 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 try and find the information, or they can just go there and go to their competition's website and ask them a question, they get the answer straight away? So that's the first thing that you need to be aware of. The way that humans interact with machines will change. It will be basically voice. You will just say, I need this question. At the moment, it's voice and text. The replies, multilingual, know all, researched questions, all the answers there, ready, done. But it's not the humans that we've got to worry about. It's the AI agents that are coming to find information out for their user. That's where the world's heading. If you do not start to seed the field about the conversations in your business, they will not be found by the AI assistants, because the AI assistants are looking for truth. They're looking for cognitive offload. This is why these business models will continue. Humans will always take the easy way. Understandably, if you can get information by asking something and get the exact answer you want, why would you then do it the old-fashioned way? So this is where we're heading into. So you need to open your mind about how you're going to change your business, because the thing is, the intelligence can be bought, and the companies that buy the intelligence will start to increase their productivity, their costs will come down, and they then have the decision to make, do I make more profit, or do I invest that profit into more intelligence? This is the start of the intelligence explosion. This year, agents are coming. They are here now. Now, I'm not saying they're here to take your job. They're here to work with you. Eventually, they will take all our jobs. But at the moment, we need to adapt. And the way to adapt is to take a step back and look at what matters with your business. If you run a good business, you love your business, and you want to promote your business, and you want to tell the world about your business, the old methods will no longer work. They will start to fade. The new methods of AI finding the truth about your business, guided by conversation, will get you ahead of the pack. So I've designed my solution not only to be the front-end marketing side of your business, but also behind the scenes of productivity. I'll leave that here for now, and then I'll touch base a bit more on the next one. But it's very important just to realize AI is just buying intelligence. If you look at it that way, it's not so scary, and it's a great thing. So thanks for hearing me out. I'll be doing another one shortly, so you can, if you're interested, see what else I've got to say. But I will try and bring you some interesting information on how these things work and give you my opinion on how they work. And yeah, thanks again for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.